Are we centered? Yes. Okay. Good morning. The Apple Card, though touted as being amazing by Apple themselves, is not really the best choice for you and your money. It is also not one of the most unique of credit cards, especially when they, well, not especially, but particularly their budgeting app that's built in, that you can get the same solution or thereabouts from lots of other places. I understand the convenience of it being baked into the phone itself, kind of like when you install other apps, and those are on the phone too. Well, I mean, like, concerning the card itself, but like Capital One, my Capital One credit card that's got late fees has features of the same sort. So, I mean, it's not whoop-de-freaking-do, you know what I mean? Because I am not a financial wizard, I had to look up a few things when concerning the interest rate on this card, like APR, annual percentage rate, stuff like that. And as soon as those words come out of my mouth, I'm like, oh God, numbers, crap. No! In as layman's terms as possible, the higher the number or percentage on the APR, the more expensive the card is to have in general. That's as basic as I can boil it down to. Otherwise, as I see up on the screen right here, I'm looking at the definition, and there's like 2 or 3 sentences of words that confuse me and a lot of other people, along with a very scary looking equation. Check it out. I'm just gonna take a picture of it and put it on the screen for you. That's a scary looking equation to me. I'm like, parentheses inside parentheses and fractions inside the parentheses, but yeah, so we're just gonna say higher the APR, more expensive it is per year to have. So the APR on the Apple Card can vary between 13.24 and 24.24. An analyst named Ted Rossman, not Louis Rossman, who obviously has way more experience in financial stuff than I do, and probably a lot of other people watching this video, if we're gonna be totally honest, told CNBC that this is a wider range than most other credit cards. So it ain't nothing special. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in a moment. Using Apple Pay, not the Apple Card, using the Apple Card through Apple Pay will get you 2% cash back, which is the same as cards like Citi Double Cash, which is, according to CNBC, available at a much wider range of retailers. Oh, but with Apple purchases, you know, of the people that don't provide food or water or gas, you get 3% cash back. Ew! God. With competing cards, you can get up to 5% cash back on rotating categories. Rotating categories could mean it could include food, it could include water, or coffee.
Ew.
So basically, it's an incentive for you to spend more at Apple. There is a card called Discover It, for example, that offers, rewards up to 5% cash back on that quarter's specific categories like electronic stores, Amazon, or gas stations. So, what you're talking about. So that old 2% with Apple Pay, no, sit down. Introductory APR. This is basically a hey, no interest, or, hey, this is cheaper for you to have in the first 14 months or whatever. That is an incentive to draw people in and to get them to sign up. It's like, hey, you don't have to pay interest for the 14 months or, first 24 or, which in layman's terms translates into an even cheaper card to have. Now you gotta be careful just because that APR will sneak up on you and bite you in the butt. Apple has none of this. So what was the percentage again? Their APR that's varying between 13.24 and 24.24. That's the way. That is the way from day one. There is no introductory. Hey, we're gonna reduce it for you for a while, and then you'll get it. No. It's that way from day one. That's like an introductory APR is some or. God, the words. Oh, the words, dear Watson. And if your credit is good, like really good, some of the top tier credit cards offer rewards that you will not find at all in the Apple Card.
Apple Card.
Did I do it right? Did I Tim Cook it the right way? Apple Card.
Apple Card.
I'm gonna work on that. That's gonna be fun. For example, that Discover It card will match the cashback you earn in the first year with no limits. Whenever it says that they'll match something, I'm almost positive, correct me if I'm wrong, but that means that they will pay you the same amount of cashback that you already earn. So if you're like, oh cool, I get $3,000 cash back this year. They're like, here's another $3,000. Enjoy. Don't spend $1 in one place. Which is pretty badass, actually. I don't even know if that's a realistic number, but you get the point. And here's another part where Apple screws you again. So with Apple Pay, you get 2% daily cash back. And then up to, not even a guarantee, but up to 5% on Apple purchases. So, if you're like, oh yes, I want to get that titanium card with no numbers that, according to Front Page Tech, already got hacked during the employee testing program, but that's another story. To use with my purchases, yes. And even places that I go that don't have NFC capable payment terminals, I can just use my fancy schmancy dancy titanium card engraved with my name, whip it out and be like, ting, and then swipity or inserty, or depending on which payment terminal you go to, you will only get 1% cash back when you use the physical card. I don't even know how expensive this card is going to be to get. I'm just gonna throw it out there and guess 100, 150. It's titanium. It's not like, oh, aluminum, a metal card. Because custom metal debit cards that replace your current one with a plastic one of varying different styles are like 150, 175. I checked because I want one. Because I like the metal cards. I just do. Of course, Apple's website doesn't tell you how much that titanium card is. That's fantastic. I'm sure one could find it if they looked hard enough, perhaps on Reddit. But it's gonna be expensive, okay? Expensive. With that expensive physical card that you more than likely will shell out $100 or more for, you can only get 1% cash back. With Apple Pay, you get up to 2% cash back. So they are rewarding you for not using the titanium fancy schmancy dancy card that cost a ton. And you're being forced to earn less cash back because a lot of places you're going to shop at, like most gas stations and things of that nature, don't accept NFC enabled payments. So you're forced to use the card that pays you, the payment method that pays you less? What the f? And you're really missing out if you live in an area that has a lot of retailers that don't accept Apple Pay. Or somewhere a little more remote, perhaps out in the boondocks, yes, things of that nature. Hold on! The Apple Card, though touted as being amazing, you know you actually have to get approved for this thing through the issuer. Not Apple, through the issuer, before you start thinking your way through all this bullshit, right? Just thought I'd let you know. Also, Apple's like, oh, no late fees. Because, they're like, oh, yeah, really? Like, I don't get penalized if I pay my card late? They're not the traditional kind of late fees, but you do get spanked. And here's how. A late payment will result in Apple, it says themselves, that in the fine print, of course, that a late payment will result on increased interest on balances. Hence that variable rate. So if you suck at paying on time, then you're gonna pay more. So it's not like, oh, your payment is late, that's fine. Just pay it and we won't charge you a late fee. It's more like, oh, your payment's late? That's fine. We won't charge you a late fee up front, but we are going to increase your interest. So you're gonna pay more if you don't pay your stuff on time. So technically there's no late fees. No late fees, but there are. There are lots of other cards that offer better benefits and more benefits than the
Apple Card.
But because Apple put their name on one and they have, oh my god, I can get a titanium credit card, ooh, people are going to get it. But I would like to see the state of that super duper baked in financial tracking blah 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 a year after the Apple Card launches, and I bet it will not look as pretty then. By the way, a new logo as well as a new intro has been completed and is on the way, along with new merch. It's all gonna be amazing. On Instagram and Twitter, you might have noticed little teasers that have been posted of little pieces of the logo. That's on purpose. It will be shown in its entirety soon. But you know who does look pretty? The Scotties on Patreon, the ones that pledge $10 or more per month, and they are Yolanda Sebro Paracord Design, Joe Schmo, Jared Elder Studios, Derek D, Ian Lewis, Paul A. Donnelly, Mario Torres, Jatinder Lal, Anthony Jackson, Eric Price, Stephen Nichols, Nick Hawks, Sin O, Unit Omega, and Christopher Caswell.
I stay with my Scotties. My Scotties are my boys. I ride with them. And I put that on the generation.
Next, we have the Super Beamers, the ones that pledge $5 a month, and they are Samsung 0804, Stephen Cameron. Every time I hear that name, I think of a director or something. It's cool. Colin House, Solarstar 81, Paradoxed, and Grant Stockton. And last but most certainly not least, we have the Beamers, the ones that pledge $1 per month, and they are Encrypted Bunny, Vincent Papineau, Spidget, Jamie Ives, Roman Van Rookhuizen, Nicholas Clark, David Larson, and Rico the 13th. Keep an eye on that spending and stay beaming. There's all fresh tactics. P-hone. Cool. Notes! Where are my notes? Hair on the phone. Hair on the phone, you bit. Though I am not a financial wizard, hence why because I'm not a financial wizard, I do actually. Someone's here. Though I am not a financial wizard, probably why. Because I'm not a financial wizard, which is available and then 1% if you use the Apple Card through Apple Pay. No, hold on, I got that wrong. And you're really missing out if you live in an area that with a late payment. So there's no like, oh, your payment's late? We won't. Late fee. Teasers for it are up. I out.